you for joining me today. My name's Laura Mackey. I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I've shared on my blog today 2 cards that I've made and coloured using the Best Birds stamp set. This is the Best Birds stamp set. It's a retiring stamp set, so it's available while stocks last. But I thought I'd give a little video just to show you how I've coloured in these birds. They're both all 3 birds are coloured in with the Stampin Blends. Now, I'm no professional colourer, and I will say probably I never really overly coloured other than with the Stampin' Up! Watercolour pencils prior to us having the alcohol markers. I've got a full set of alcohol markers of all what's currently available with Stampin' Up! And I must say, oh my God, I really do love them. I think they're quite forgiving. You don't need to be some kind of pro artist to be able to work with these. The basics really are stamp your image with the Memento ink. I use the Stampin' Up! Whisper White cardstock. Sometimes people use the thick. I prefer the thin. I find I get on with it better. I find with the thick, my colour seems to bleed a little bit. So I do find it easier to use the normal Whisper White cardstock. So yeah, all of the birds. Can you still see the birds? Hopefully you can. So colouring these, I'm going to do the robin first. I mean, he probably doesn't look anything like a real robin, but hey ho. So to start off with, I'm just going to try and see if you can you see what I'm, you can see the image quite well, can't you? I wonder if I zoom in a little bit, just bear with me. Hey, yeah. So I just move that there like that, you can see a little bit better. So I always apply, well actually I'm lying because I don't always apply the dark first. Sometimes I apply a full layer of light first, but with this I'm going to apply the dark and then working over the top of the dark shade, really sort of working the light to really blend that back. I think it's one of them things which, depending on which you lay down first, you'll get to know the more you play with these. Just going to bring that up a fraction. So you can always go back in as well if you think, oh, actually I want that to be a bit dark. So you can go back in and add a little bit more. And then just give it a light, like so. Now because I'm going to colour all the bird light, I'm going to lay down light all over him, all down his tail. This just gives me a good base. Now you'll notice the pens have got a thick end and a thin end. Depending on like that, because I've just used the whole, coloured all of him, I've used the thinner end. But now because I'm going to go over the orange to blend the crumb cake in with the pumpkin pie. So I go over the top with the finer end, just because I find you can blend a lot better with the finer end. So you see, you can really see that it's sort of blending in and there's no line. It's quite a graduation of colour. So then now with my dark crumb cake, I'm just going to go in and lay some, where this image is quite nice because it's given you sort of some shadows and stuff. And then I'm not overly careful, just sort of flicking lines and applying a bit of colour. Right, so now I'm just going to give it a light sweep over just to blend that in. I don't want it to blend too much though, because I want him to look, you know, I want it to be quite noticeable, his light and dark shades. I also went in with a little bit of the bronze marker just to give it another shade variation really. And again, some flicks. And then I also went over some of these little speckles on his belly. Now I know robins don't really have speckles, but my robin does. I quite like it. Then his beak I've also coloured in. And then again, another sweep with the light cherry cobbler. So yeah, that's my Oh my goodness, just chucking my pens about. And you can see that I didn't use the colour lifter whatsoever with that. So if I just bring that up to the camera just so you can see that there. Now, colouring these ones, the my male and female birds, I laid down light on his belly and on his tail. The blue one is Balmy Blue, and the pink one, which I'm going to do now, is Flirty Flamingo. Then I laid down some pink around his head and down his back a little bit, blending over the bit of the crumb cake there. Again, highlighting on those and then I'm going to come in, and this time with the colour lifter. Can you, I don't know if you can see there. Oh, no you can't because it's not even in shot. It's quite light there, so it's how I created that, is I used the colour lifter and just working over those areas where there's no colour is really pulling in. I think I've got my old, I've got 3 colour lifters, believe it or not. When you're using them in classes, it's quite nice to have quite a few. So yeah, just working that around and then just pulling a little bit where I've applied it on his belly. Then I'm going to come in back with some, just to apply just some dark back around there. And then I also added lots of speckles around her belly in the light and then the dark crumb cake. I'm just going to add some more. Do you see what I mean though? It's really, I mean, you can go in and add, I might just bring in a little bit more light here and then go back in with my colour lifter just to pull it up. So it almost gives you a 3rd shade really. Let me just bring that up to the camera. So you can see there how you can really play around as well. You can really go crazy funky birds and all sorts, but I just thought that'd give you a little insight to if you hadn't ever played with the blends, or maybe you've been playing with the blends and you haven't been getting on. I just wanted to be able to just give you or share some of my little tips. It's not necessary, you might go watch another demonstrator or someone else using the blends and they've gone completely different. This is just how I like to use them. I'm always pleased with what I end up with, which is always good. But if you've got any questions, or maybe you've just watched that and thought, oh my God, you know, I want to ask Laura some questions, please do email me. I do love to hear from you all. If you're quite keen that you'd like to have a go with the blends, you haven't got any, please head over to my online shop, which is at www.lauramackie.co.uk. And you can get everything there, the blends, the Memento ink pad, which I must say is a must. And a colour lifter. They're what you need to get started, and then you can gradually build up your collection of colours. Maybe start with primary colours and the crumb cake. The crumb cake, I use that loads because it does quite even work as, you know, as a good brown base. But yeah, I hope you've liked that. I hope it's given you a little bit of help, and I shall be back soon with another video. Thank you.